It is open, my friends, while toils have yet to begin. Laughter we had in gales and floods, but if not, at least there will be blood. The sorrow and loss may abound. We'll do our best to hold this hallowed ground.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Albarian, where we play TTRPGs and have a hoot. Last time we had a wonderful conversation with the Avatar of Thoth, discovered most of what their plans were, uncovered a good amount of past histories and things that are jumbling things up. Lovely how all that works. And are now in a position where they have talked this avatar of sorts into essentially backing down on his own and giving control of whatever is in front of them to them.
So, as I was saying, the choices are 1. We do what Goodman Thoth here was planning, which is... Would you mind filling that fully in for me, Thoth?
Acquiring the full operating system of this one here and installing it into them. Activating the machine, utilizing my power unit, thusly ending myself, and waking them up.
Okay. And that would just put those souls into the other big tins, and then they would live on, and cycle would continue.
They would be graced with all of the knowledge that we all have here, yes.
Okay. Okay, so that would sacrifice Big Tin. Okay,
No,
and...
it would not.
Oh, no.
Just his operating system, it's a simple download. It would sacrifice me. It would require the use of my energy.
Okay. 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 So that sacrifice Thoth, boot up the robots. I don't know what the robot is, but I don't know what other word there is. Second option, we don't do that. And do what?
My option was that this is the plan B. These constructs, souls in them, as a way to further plans the next time around. Plan A would be to stop the cycles from happening at all.
And that, we do that. How do we do that?
Don't know.
Thoth, do you know the answer to that question?
I don't even know what causes them.
Okay, so that's probably not in the cards currently. I will say...
Theoretically, you could use my power source to do that, but it is theoretical.
Okay. And
But how, theoretically?
Incredibly theoretically.
Okay. And just so we're all on the same page, Thoth, us, George part, there is another Big Tin coming, and I believe he's coming with the military figure type of primordial. They're coming here to do something, probably not to our advantage. So we are on a clock.
Well, if another version of him is coming here, it is for the same sense of purpose.
Okay.
upload of intelligence.
Based upon what I know
But to
now,
what ends, we don't
I
know.
kind of doubt that. But I've been wrong before, I'll admit. So that's the second choice. Are there any other choices? Anybody aware of? So hypothetically, we don't boot up the bots. We don't stop the cycles. Instead, Thoth keeps living because we don't sacrifice him for anything. And we just run it back. That's the third option?
I'm guessing that the third option would actually be destroying the constructs so that the other Big Ten cannot do whatever their plan is, good or ill, and then try our best to end the cycle, which I don't think is a very good option either, unfortunately. As much as I don't like this.
Let me ask you something, Thoth, because the thought just occurred to me, given what I know about this other version of the BT, Big Ten, whatever, Steel Protector, and your power source. The Primordials, while they do technically survive the resets, they are very put out by it until they can reform. What would happen if they had your power source, they had those bodies, and instead of putting the souls in them, they decided to put themselves in them?
Is that an option?
Extensions of itself.
The science of reappropriation of a soul is theoretical in that level. It is impossible to absorb and take the energy of a primordial. We are designed to be counter to them. It would disintegrate the body.
But
Now,
those things can't be disintegrated, I thought.
To also remind the players, at least Schnozboop and BT know that the BT that's coming your way has invented that technology. It is possible to do that. You've seen one of those devices.
Yeah. They figured it out.
Oh.
Quick question.
Well, if that is the case, then Plan C is your best option, with yourself, BT, and myself remaining down here to be destroyed along with it. We should not exist.
Unless you said that your energy source could be used to destroy whatever is causing the cycles to occur.
Theoretically,
But
my
you
energy
also
source
need-
can also replace the gods. It can also reshape the continent. It is an ever-powerful source, yes, capable of much devastation and much good. However, what you are talking about is something we don't understand. So I, as a scientist, cannot tell you with full confidence that it can. Without having any basis of information or data on what it is we would be addressing, it has to be theoretical.
I've worked with worse odds before. My question is, if we use your energy to awaken this army of yours,
He believes you.
could they, in turn, if we do find what is causing this, could they all use your energy to destroy it? That way,
I don't know.
even if we fail, they live on. And the next time around, maybe even more souls from this place.
If they
So what I
were
mean
to
is,
be
to
awoken,
make it
my
clear-
energy would be expended. It would not be distributed.
I think, and this is coming from an old man, you know, I've lived a while at this point. That Thoth, if you're up for it, because it sounds like, yeah, I mean, this doesn't seem like it's going to end well for you as far as continuing.
I'm a tool that speaks.
Right. We use the tool to destroy everything so it can't be used. And if I'm understanding it right, we may be able to stop the cycles at the same time with that same energy. Is that theoretically an option to do both?
I don't think we have enough information, period, to stop cycles
I'm
at this
afraid
time.
so. Theoretically, yes.
Or the
Again,
time. Right now we have another party coming. We'll probably be here within an hour or so, and we need to decide before then. And I don't think stopping the cycles is part of our options right now. We need to decide if we are going to put souls in those bodies or destroy them and figure things out from there.
Unfortunately, I think Big Ten is correct. Unless there's a way to hide.
I don't think that's...
Because we can't let them get it.
I don't think that's a...
What I mean by hide is, I'll shove them into my bag of holding, I don't care. But then we destroy these.
I think the ones coming will know.
Can we prevent them from coming down here like I did? Thoth?
well,
we
how
turn
did
that
you...
mechanism off?
Did you come through the door or through... I'm activated when the presence is sensed in here.
I think they're
through
going to
the
have a much easier
teleportation?
time getting in.
Using teleportation. That is only possible for one of our kind.
Exactly, but one of our kind is part of the group that's coming.
He is going to walk over towards this center command, press a few buttons. Everything inside the room starts coming to life at that point. A bunch of little, what you thought were like blacked out glass windows start showing lights appearing on them. And he pushes a few more buttons and then turns to you, BT, and says, yes, we can turn that off.
Okay, that buys us a little bit more time. I don't know how much, because I don't know from the point of where we teleport to where we are now, how far a distance that is. Do you have a map of everything?
Of the local region. Presses a few more buttons.
I mean,
And the observation window just stops being an observation window and starts being a generalized map of the town. And it looks as though it's the city itself before it started falling into pieces. So a little outdated one. So like live map? No. He doesn't have a
No.
live map, but he did have a map of some kind.
The architect. I just mean, where are we in relativity to where we teleported from?
Ah. Pushes a few more buttons, and it goes from a top-down view to the scene kind of flattens out, and the middle of the ground is higher up, and there's a whole honeycomb architecture of tunnels all throughout, leading down. And as you're looking at it, it does shift, as though it's a living entity living in the ground itself. And then there's a little tiny blip towards the bottom, and it says, "You are here."
We detect where they are?
We can...
Considering that they would be one of me there?
No. Nothing of that kind. We wanted ourselves to be untrackable. And designing a way to
Yes.
track us is counter to the
Yes.
thought.
But I figured it out anyhow.
He genuinely gives you a confused look.
It's in the living metal. I can sense it.
I cannot.
Circumstances.
If you were to agree...
Because it's being used against us.
I do know that if you were to agree to activate these, they would all have that as well.
Right. But if he activates them, they all have the ability to absorb primordials. So anyway. Right now I'm leaning towards to destruction, but anyway. Everyone keep talking it out. We bought us a little bit more time.
Yeah, so if I knew that one of those souls was Jarena,
Was your wife?
I think I would still say we should destroy them. Yeah. I think we should destroy them.
Where did the souls come from?
Where did the souls come from? That's a good question.
That are up there right now.
Harvesting.
How? From what locations?
Through planned war.
Well,
these ones in particular come from the Iridai continent.
Wait, that's where we are, right?
Yeah,
yes,
that's where you are.
Okay.
Why those souls over the others?
Because we could identify them, and our presence was limited to this continent. If it was seen as an outsider, it was not chosen.
First question, can we release those souls?
Yes.
Without putting them in the bodies.
The destruction of the device that is containing them will release them, not destroy them. There is no exit valve.
Right.
To release them would be to destroy this facility.
Okay. Just getting our options.
Yeah, you get this with your passive insight. You get the sense he hesitated because there's still kind of like for lack of a better way of putting it, like a program that's kind of trying to kick in to limit what he's saying.
So, let's say we do it that way. Thoth can't be left, seemingly. The power within him will either need to be exercised now, or we hypothetically take him somewhere else and exercise it later. Right?
Not necessarily. I mean, yes and not necessarily.
George, who's still by the observation window, or Pot as you know him now, says something and get him to one of us and we can do it.
Observing. Anyway, that's all I say to him.
Yeah, he gives you a sidelong glance and actually smiles at that, and then goes back to leaning on the observation table, or the observation window.
If we decide, this is to Prologue, if we decide not to do the
Snoz
merger.
move, you mean?
Prologue's there?
Prologue. Sorry.
I
This
only
would be
had
a
to say
very
what you
different
said.
conversation
It took a
if it was
while.
Prologue here.
Smash.
This is too snazzy. Anyway, if we decide not to go down to the merge souls into bodies and use the power for that, I do agree, yes, the power needs to be moved away from this facility. I question, though, whether or not we let Thoth keep it, because everybody, as in my other counterpart, knows that the power is in Thoth, probably. So I think the power should be transferred to me, the only other vessel capable of holding that power at the moment, and then we leave and then figure out what to do with it later.
To carry the power is not to use it. For it to be used, you would need to be destroyed. That is your option. Clarifying details for you. If you were to absorb it, you would be the caretaker, the protector. You would not be the user.
And that still leaves us with the issue of the probable capture at some point of either Thoth or Big Tin by parties known or unknown that will use it for destructive purposes.
So then that answer becomes plain. It has to be used now, one way or the other.
Now, I said that we could potentially bring Thoth elsewhere and then use it, but all that would do would give us more time to think through it. I do not know if thinking through it more will make it any better. But I just bring that up as a possibility in case we do not want to rush into a hasty decision.
I think Big Ten needs to absorb the power, and we need to wait, because more information might come.
If Big Ten absorbs the power, he will be sacrificed.
At some point in the future.
If he's willing to do that.
Well, even if he's unwilling to do it, if the third parties arrive, I assume it could be forced upon him.
That's why I think we need to figure out why these resets happen as quickly as possible. And if worse comes to worse, then Big Ten get rid of the power before anybody else can use it. That's up to him. In fact, all of these decisions are up to you. I'm not from here.
That actually was my thought. How did you get here, Draken?
I have no idea.
What would happen if we all went there instead? Because I don't know this for sure, but it seems like deities and primordials have to stay in their own realm. Any thoughts on that?
Somehow get either Thoth or Big Ten to where I'm from.
Yes. I mean, hypothetically, we would all go, but that would be the main.
Those I do know how they work. They're purely by chance. Unless you can go to Eremathus, in which case they happen quite frequently. And you can hop on through and then end up inside a different world, but there's no controlling where you go.
Do you happen to know if deities and primordials of this realm could exit to another realm?
As far as we're aware, no.
Okay.
What Eshna was able to communicate was a trapping of sorts, that the celestial realm was like the void. Place he could not leave.
That
that
isn't
could
a
give
bad
us
plan.
give us more time.
Except for
and
the possibility that we get shunted to a world that is inhospitable to life.
Well, he
Which
just
is
said there's
a possibility.
How do we get to this other place that I've never heard of? Thoth.
Oh, which is to the east. You also would have heard of it, actually, Snosboob. You lived in the Obtulan States, just to the east of, across the small little ocean, short little ocean, about a week or so journey via sea, is another continent, the neighboring continent, Eremathus. What you would also know is that lately, in the last 30 or so years, no one's heard from any Eremathans or been able to make it to the continent. Anyone who's set for it has never come back.
Ah, interesting.
For like the last 30 or so years.
Coincidence? I think not. So we haven't heard from Eremathus, so it would have to be random. Okay. And in that case, Thoth could just come with. No need to put him in Big Ten to potentially sacrifice Big Ten at some later point. I mean, right?
I have a point to bring up.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
Big Ten has revealed recently it is possible to track our kind.
Mm-hmm.
Leaving this facility would be detrimental to that. I'm not personally aware of a more secure facility than this place.
Okay.
Where would you take me that could be safer and protected from this other version of us that is coming to hunt for either this facility or myself?
Right. So if we went to a different realm, the other Big Ten could potentially follow. But
yes,
the
however, that
deities,
would be
primordials could not.
a time frame. A very potentially long time frame. So
Yes.
in between getting out of here and finding wherever that random happenstance would happen, how are you planning on keeping me safe?
Right. So that plan would of us be able to figure out how to immediately teleport to that spot and immediately leave, within 3 minutes. I don't know if that's a possibility. I'm just
with right sensors in
brainstorming it.
place, yes, it is. We have that equipment here.
Ah.
But it typically can be anywhere between a line to a few lunars.
Okay. And based upon what you know about Big Ten, how long could we stay in this room and not have anyone else get in?
If it were a force not led by one of our own kind, years.
Okay. But
It is led by one of our kind, they can walk through our defenses. So it's a matter of them just walking down.
okay. Okay. Well, that doesn't give us very long in that case.
It could take upwards of 30 minutes.
Hmm.
Uninterrupted. With
Well,
everything I can
Draken.
calculate,
Uh-huh.
I think the most sensible thing is just to use me now. It is the least risky. Perhaps the most theoretical. But it guarantees I don't fall into the hands of whoever you don't want me in the hands of.
True. It is the cleanest, but it also allows for large mistakes with that amount of power. And Draken, you said you have no idea how you got here, nor how to get back, right?
So, based off of what I remember from when I first joined, it was me and my party planning on jumping to the next spot to try and find the original Marcus. And then we were all dispersed at different points in time and at different places. Considering that I've heard tell of some of my group that's been around for quite longer than I have. So, whatever interrupted the journey, I have no idea. I do not think we were planning on coming here specifically.
Yeah. Coddle, you've been quite silent. You're of engineering mind. I don't suppose you have any thought on how to transverse realms.
Well, I've only stayed in one realm my entire life.
Same.
Let me think to see if I know anything about realm traveling. What would I roll for this? Like a history or an insight? Or
That would be a history check.
history check. Natural 20.
Got him! Pay up.
So you know a decent. So yes, there are. Okay, I have to give you the Andrean theories behind it. Hang on. Merch pitch. Well, I remember the Andrean side of it.
There's merch in our merch
remember.
store. We got shirts, books, pillows.
Mugs.
Wait, do we have pillows?
Yeah,
We never got the full body pillows. Yet.
Yet.
Hoodies. We got those. Stickers, if you want little things. And
Wear the power of friendship proudly on your shoulders with
Well
our
said.
new merch
Well said.
lineup.
Amazing.
All
right.
And yeah.
The Andrean side of the whole realm traveling thing is very interesting. Mainly because the whole concept kind of became more commonplace for the higher powers to start investigating and looking into between the Andrean governments and the Quailing governments about 36 years ago, when the consequences fully revealed the fact that there are these beings who are appearing from other worlds, showing that their theories, and according to archivists, that there are other planes and worlds to travel to, are correct. But the question of how do we get there and how do we get back is still largely unanswered. You would know that there are essentially organizations, government organizations, that look into this, into tracking them, finding them, as well as the individuals. Most of the individuals, if they pop up in a town, they're not heard of the next day. It's kind of just treated as a more theory beyond all. So these organizations are very much like the Men in Black. So you know they exist. You know there are organizations that track them and can potentially
Right.
find one fairly quickly. You just don't have any real connection to it. Maybe you do, actually. You did
Gotcha.
meet the Prince of Andrea, or the High Prince of Andrea. So you might have a connection to be able to get this a bit quicker than what this avatar of Thoth is thinking.
Okay, and just really quick, was my sound coming through my headphone mic still, or my actual mic?
I think it's your headphone mic still.
Still?
It's pretty quiet.
Oh,
There you
now
are.
there it is.
Okay, cool. Maybe I was
My
just too
goodness.
far away from
My mic. Okay. Let me.
That might have been
Oh, I
it,
might have-
actually.
Yeah,
Might have accidentally turned my gain down. How do I sound now?
that's better. I like
Better.
that.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Sweet.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. I totally just realized, so I popped you a message while I was giving you the debrief.
Okay.
Fun roll.
So I'll tell Snaz that I'm not aware of any like direct machine right now, or methodology of traveling between realms. But I do know that it is possible, and through certain connections, you would be able to find out more about it.
Okay.
Such as the prince that I know.
Okay. That's good to know. So, if we go with the simplest plan, which is to utilize Thoth now, how would that play out?
Someone would shatter my power core and let the energy absorb them.
And let the energy absorb them.
From there, how it's used is theoretical. There are some who believe that it would have been a thought practice. Kind of like a wish cantation. Very, very
Okay.
powerful spell. But not quite. It's utilizing an energy that we don't deal with. It's very difficult and costly to capture.
When you say that it absorbs them, do you mean that it kills them? Or otherwise...
Well, there are some that would say its body is completely disintegrated and they are broken down to the pure essences and energies that they are made of. In that case, yes, it would be killing
Okay.
the essence of what you understand to be them. However,
Is
their
there-
true sense would not be.
Is there any way to bottle this energy up in some sort of machine, or does it have to imbue itself in a living being?
He looks at his body. I am a machine, and it is embodied in me. So yes. But it has to be of a very specific material. A material of
What
which
is that
only
material?
those 10,000, BT and myself, and whoever is coming our way, is made of.
And what is that material?
Living metal.
BT, do you know where we can get any living metal?
I have been searching for living metal all my life. Yeah, in that room. Yeah, right there at Thoth. That's about the only sources that I know of right now.
Although you have absorbed some fragments along the way.
Yes, every time I find it, I absorb it.
There may be other fragments, but yes. Probably not as much as we might need for such a endeavor.
If we are going to be looking at containing his power into another vessel, it would be me. That would be our only answer
Yeah.
right now.
Which would, at some point, end with a sacrifice of Big Ten. So that seems like we shouldn't do that one. So if we were to, I'm gonna just call it a wish. That's 'cause I'm not a mechanical mind. I'm just live in a cottage surrounded by flowers and plants my whole life. What would we wish for? Seemingly, we would wish for us not to be here, so we're not disintegrated. We would wish for this facility to be destroyed.
I think it's more like the raw magic itself, equivalent to the amount of power that resides within a wish spell. I don't think it is actually a wish.
You're not requesting for the deed to be
Okay.
done. You are doing
Great.
the deed.
Okay. Can you extrapolate on what that means?
Yes, it was why I wouldn't use the terminology wish spell. When you're
Okay.
using that spell, something is doing it for you.
Mm-hmm.
This, you would just be doing it yourself. There's no misinterpretation. You're working on your own understanding. If you make a mistake, it is your fault. If you do something wrong, it is your fault. You can't blame another person for misunderstanding what you asked for.
It also almost means that what you're wishing for, you have to know how to do.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just say, make it rain gold, because you don't know how to do that.
Okay. Okay. So we do, some of us, know how to teleport.
Mm-hmm.
So we could potentially do that on a larger scale to remove us from this facility. So that could happen. We do...
Theoretically, you could use this energy to leave this plane.
Mm-hmm. Yes. True. But I assume we would have to know where we were going. So only Draken could do that because he's the only one who's been somewhere else. Is that true? Is that a fair assessment?
Part of one of your plans?
No, yeah, but I'm just saying he would be the one who would have to utilize it because he was the only one who's ever been not here.
Well, as he has already plane traveled, that would be the wisest decision.
Okay. As a part of it, we also would have to destroy the soul sphere, so as to destroy the facility, so it can't fall into their hands. Is it difficult?
We can set the self-destruct.
Oh, we don't even have to make that part of it. Great. Okay. And... Okay, so then that leaves... either Big Ten or I teleport us out of here. So one of us would be taking that on. Or Draken would be taking us back to his home. As far as I know, Kaz, Coddle, you do not have those abilities as of yet. Is that true?
True.
Kiz's eyes are pointing in two different directions, and she's drooling just a little bit.
Great. I can't hear you.
The plan was that if we could take Thoth to another place, well, we'd have to destroy him in order to have the power to move.
Right.
So unless the plan was to move the facility somewhere else, but even then, evil Big Ten still needs Thoth in order to power up these things.
Mm-hmm.
So his destruction alone would be enough. For now, at least.
Although, assuming he is here, which I assume he is by now, destroying the facility would destroy him.
What if we use the power to send evil Big Tin somewhere else? I've been to a couple worlds that are mostly dead.
Like a prison.
Yeah.
Okay. That would, once again, require that you do it, and we, since you are doing it, we would have to go back to your realm since you don't know how to teleport.
Not to my realm, but at least to somewhere that I've been. Right?
Right. Yeah, somewhere that you've
Because
been.
it would work like teleportation, but extra dimensionally.
Yeah.
Right.
Plane walking.
Right. When we were talking to Fear, did he bring up anything along this line? Because this is what he was talking about, although he talked about it in a very different way.
His overall thought process, like thinking about it wise, fell more along the same lines as the general, and that was why the conversation was so difficult. The decision for who to help was so difficult. Both of them just didn't want it to be used, period. They wanted it to be reabsorbed into back wherever it came from and not used, released, back into the wild. It was the methods of how they wanted to do that differed. But they both wanted the same thing, for it just to not be used and for it to be released.
Okay. I admit, I am hesitant for my friends to go to their potential deaths, having not lived full lives as of yet. I'm impartial to myself to do this, as I could die, and I'll be fine with that. Do you have any thoughts?
Only that I wish we had more information.
The story of our travels, my friend.
Story of my life.
Big Tin?
And the funniest thing is it's probably somewhere in Tanja's notes. There's something in one of Tanja's notes that was just like thrown off to the side that they put down that none of the rest of us remember now.
You mean Taflessa, of course.
Yes. Yes.
Well,
You're probably right, though.
let's. We got lots of options here, and let's start eliminate some of these options. Does anyone here believe we should put those souls into those bodies?
No.
No.
Nope.
Okay,
Flip.
we don't have to worry about that. That's not an option. So, that
I think
we're
our
gonna
only
destroy the
option
place.
is that
So
if we had a location or even an idea of how this all works, we would be able to use that energy.
see,
we
the problem
don't.
is, okay, I understand what you guys are trying to do, but the problem is my still primary goal is still the same. I want there to be a third balancing power in the cosmic equation against gods and primordials. That out there, that little solution was his answer to this. And we're not going to go that route.
Well,
So
this
how
is
do I
what I will
protect
tell
mortals?
you. This is what I would say to you. You have to think about and this is player talk, not character talk.
Cheat.
Oh, well, no.
Would
I'm saying this in character, but anyway.
Big Ten
Table.
would Big Ten, as a character, as a being that has not been conscious
Very
for
long.
as long as we have, but also
Yeah.
has a different perspective on consciousness in a more empathetic take on consciousness in a construct body. And given that that is your goal as a character, forget about the rest of us, but your character's goal, what does Big Ten want to do? Because at the end of the day, we can all argue philosophy on what it means to be a conscious person, but that's our characters doing it. What would your character want?
We're talking player to player, not in-game
I'm talking
character.
player to player, not Drake into Big Ten. Even though a little bit of this is what Big Ten or what
I mean,
Drake
most of
would-
this is what Big Ten would
like-
say anyhow, but yes.
Yeah,
No,
of like
Big Ten.
this is still, you are a conscious being. This is
Yeah.
your choice to make, and this is your journey.
Big Ten wants to use the power to become the third cosmic entity.
Because that still is part of what my option was of like, I don't like it. I don't like that it's our first option. I wish that it was a backup.
Yeah.
But if in the end doing this is a first domino falling in events, and this is both player and character telling you this, and I'll go back to Drake and voice if I need to, but
I mean,
like I said,
I as a
my
player,
first goal is the protection of mortal life here.
exactly. I believe mortal life should be freer than what it is right now under the influence of gods and primordials. That's why Big Ten, as a character, wants to become the third cosmic power. Down the road, he wants to stop the cycles. Doesn't know how to do that now. But as the third cosmic player, I might be able to figure that out.
And
And-
your brain also works at a more computer-like level than us physical mortals can. And our
Plus,
emotions
they'll
are
be outside
getting
of the cycles
in the
if
way.
they do happen to reset anyhow.
exactly.
To complicate it as well, just going to add a complicated thought in
no.
there as well.
Warnings are about to go off.
The story that you all got from Thoth as well is that they did try to do a higher power play by putting one of their party members in charge and making him a god. So that thought process has actually come into play. They just didn't go the route you're thinking about going right now.
Hmm.
Big Ten. We've been friends for almost your whole life. And I think that plan would be bad for you, my friend. I think it only suffering leads that way, and I do not think it would resolve in the way that you hope. That being said, I think there is perhaps a second option that would have a result that you maybe are looking for. What if the deities and primordials had no power?
You can't,
I'm not
at the moment, comprehend all of that as, being asked for as a wish. I cannot remove the primordials or the god's power. Use the thread of life to do that. And that would have huge ramifications, as far as I know, about creation itself.
True, probably true.
That's something that I need to decide after I've ascended, to say it one way. To see if that shift of power can happen from them having power to them not having power, and how to do it without destroying everything.
The information we're seeking cannot be found unless one of us is in that position.
Exactly.
We are deliberating something that we will not become more educated on. A decision must be made.
I'm just
I
going to
think-
say, well, Draken's going to say one last thing. Say, whatever you choose,
Party
Big
on.
Ten, just remember what the definition of the word mortal is.
Well, as far as I know, Big Ten's not mortal anyways.
But he's trying to help out. You know.
But I
You know
protect
what
the
I'm-
mortals. I protect the mortals. That's my code. Base code.
I do think it should be me who does this, as my life has been the longest. I think we should do the minimum, which is get us out of here, destroy the facility. I don't think that Big Ten is ascending to become some power would be. I think that would be bad.
I'm going to pull out my pipe and lean against the wall and let Big Ten make this decision.
There is no decision. I'm just letting you guys talk it out. To see, this whole thing is going to be, are you going to try and stop me or not?
I am not. Because I have made, in my past, some very hard choices that needed to be made. And this is also... I can only do so much in this situation. And chances are, our battle would be one for the ages, Big Ten.
Probably.
But one
You'd
of us
probably
is mine.
win, but anyway.
But
Big Ten, you know my code.
Peace.
But I would try to stop you.
Why? It's not against peace.
Well, it's against my friend.
Your friend is deciding this on their own. So you're saying your will supersedes your friend's will.
If my friend's trying to hurt themselves, yeah.
Only you are interpreting this as hurting themselves. So once again, you're putting your will over mine.
He's correct in that.
Yeah. I am. I suppose so.
Well, as you said, you've led a good long life. I won't kill you, but you can't stop me.
All right. Thoth is going to step forward to you, BT. And
Tune in.
I'm
next
going
week.
to describe a scene. And then I'm going to ask for a series of rolls. Next
Dun,
week,
dun, dun.
as we start for this week.
Next.
As the plates around the chest of Thoth start opening up, and a tubular-like object gets protruded out of his chest that glows a bright, aurora-like light, and he begins to hold it towards Big Tin. Few things are going to happen, but we'll get into that next week. We'll see you all later for now. Bye.
Dun.
Yeah, may have closed for now. We hope you met a friend this go